Loading complete.
And we're live here on the reset button.
We're never giving a countdown, so
I never do. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of the reset button. This one titled Hack the System. Of course, one of the main reasons why we have that as the title is we're going to talk about something that's a little near and dear to Johnny's heart, and something that I dipped my toes in a little bit, but we're going to learn a bit more about this week. We've also got plenty of additional topics coming up. We're going to be talking about the PlayStation Experience, whatever they called it. And of course, we're going to talk the PlayStation Experience Showcase time. Yes. And we'll be talking about plenty of things that they showed off there. We're going to talk about what seems to be some growing trends in the industry as well. But I hope everybody is ready to sit back, relax, while we dive into this. So first topic, like we mentioned there, is going to be, of course, ROM hacks. And I just want to take a quick moment to pass this over to Johnny, because you're kind of the expert when it comes to ROM hacks here. So,
well,
tell us a bit.
I wouldn't call myself an expert per se, because I'm still kind of learning. There are some things I don't know, and some things I'm kind of learning on the fly. But man, I've been kind of like really into ROM hacks lately. Mainly the randomizers, because after you've played a game for so many years, it kind of gets, samey in places. So I was like looking for some, and then I just stumbled on people like, oh yeah, like I'm playing Link to the Past, but it's randomized. So like the first chest you get is not the lantern, it's $20, or it's in fact your sword. So you go to the uncle and he gives you something else. So man, like I was always intrigued with that. I think like when I first started knowing about ROM hacks in general was when I first started getting into emulation back in the mid 90s. I would go on sites like trying to find, like a copy of Mario 2, Mario 3. And then they're like, oh yeah, we also have these things called hacks. It's like, what is this? It's like, oh yeah, we changed Mario to look like Carnage from Marvel Comics. And everything else is all red and bloody. And I was like, what? You could do this? you can change the game? And it led me down to like, where we're at today, where people are just like building new levels in Mario. Like this is way before Mario Maker, and making like just brand new Mario games. I tried one out. It was kind of like the first real like big change to Mario 3. It's called Mario Adventure, where the coins, when you collect 100 coins, you don't get a 1-up. Coins are used to spend at mushroom houses and at the not the flip game, what is it, the roulette, where it's the mushroom, flower, and star. So if you hit that, instead of getting lives, you get power-ups. So you get like stars to start you off on the map. And one of the cool things with that one is the level layout is always randomized, so it can be either daytime light, or it could be nighttime, or it could be raining, or it could actually be snowing. And then actually, if it snows, it changes the physics, so you're sliding around all over the place.
But with daytime, nighttime,
I don't think I don't think Mario 3 had ice physics like that.
Where it's calling the sliding and such. Is that what you're saying?
I can't.
A little
bit. No.
I think maybe World 6 it did,
like
but not to the effect.
When you're like,
not to the effect that Mario Adventure does.
No, probably not. But I was going to ask you, with the day and night cycle, does a box pop up? Just curious. Just curious on that one.
No, it's random when you actually start the level. Okay. But to that, like, also, like, I like the hacks that are like quality of life improvements too. So you mentioned Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Like I haven't actually played the legit version of it. I only played the redacted hack of it, which the translations are fixed, the spelling errors are fixed. the townspeople.
errors.
Well, I mean, for Zelda 2, that's not that's the character's name. It's not
No,
error.
but like
it's
the
an E
charm
word.
of like really bad grammar or translation.
Oh, yeah.
is,
Just absolute.
I mean,
messes.
I live on this. I
Yes.
live for that. So
Yeah,
that's not an
And
issue.
don't get me wrong,
I
I
just
still-
want the game to work.
yeah, and they also make it work too. So like the townspeople will actually like tell you specifically where you need to go. And the day to night cycle is just like, the text box pops up, but it's lightning fast, and then the transition is lightning fast as well. So like you're not sitting there for like 10 seconds waiting. If it's just like, nope, what a horrible night to have a curse. Fade out, fade in, done, ready to go. Nighttime cycle, let's go.
Well,
So
yeah,
look at
that,
the
that would be
Unnecessary
better.
pauses.
Yeah, that
True,
definitely
true.
would be, a lot better than what we did have. But I think some people, I know it takes a few moments to get past, but that's kind of the charm of it.
So,
Like-
I think we need to do someday, and in defense of Patrick, for example, I think we all need to play a game that one person might like and the others might find is kind of like painful, for example. I think that would be like really refreshing, honestly.
I've already had that hell, and it's called The Quiet Man. I ain't going through that again.
Wait, what?
Do you not know?
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, no, I don't.
So
I
we
don't.
had this thing on Game Days So Good for
no.
Patrick and I host for charity and playing through games and such. I don't know how it came about. I think it was like host pick a bad game for another host to pick, and then I got lumped in with Reset, and he gave me The Quiet Man. So it's this game on PlayStation and PC where it's a mixture of live action cutscenes, like filmed with real actors, and then their in-game models.
Mhm.
It's like a 3D invention, like a brawler. So like you're like doing combos
I
and
think
stuff.
it's fair to call it that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the main hook of the game is, as the protagonist, you're deaf. You can't hear anything. So
What?
throughout the entire game, there's audio, but it's muffled. So
Like
you
he's
can't
legally deaf kind of situation,
Yeah.
but like there's not many cues to go off of.
yeah. So
Got it.
it's led up like you see like the live action stuff, and then you see like the gameplay stuff. So it's left to your imagination what the story is. Then when
This
you
sounds
beat the
amazing.
game,
I want to play this.
So,
but here's the thing: it controls horribly. Like the combat is not intuitive. It's
Okay.
it's a complete mess. And also
Okay.
too, so what happens is after you've beaten the game, and this game is like
Wait, is this
nuts.
a
Like the
spoiler?
story is
Because I might
nuts.
actually want to play this. Please, like, don't actually
okay,
spoil.
if you are inclined, I won't spoil it. But what happens is after you beat the game, you have to play it again, and then they turn the sound back on.
yeah, that's not a spoiler. That's not a spoiler.
okay.
That's
Like,
the
no
point.
stress. And then
So you have
does
to
your
do
mind
two full
get blown of like what happens after you do it again?
It's
Kind of, because like if you don't know what the story is, you're led to like, unless you can read lips too, you're left to your own devices of like, okay, who's this guy? How does he play
Yeah.
into this? Why is this here? Why
So
is
it's kinda
this and this?
like, having to do like ghosts and goblins and play it twice to really win. Like, is that the vibe?
I think there's four finishes, not two, but you won't want to do four. I
Oh.
promise.
There's other.
You guys don't know my.
I'm not.
games.
Yeah, I believe
doing
there's four
four.
finishes, not two. And I'm telling
Are
you
you doing
now,
the other
you,
two?
you don't want to touch this.
No,
Oh,
I don't want to do this.
No, you
It's-
got no. This is so intriguing. Like, even if if someone took this concept and made like a newer game, I would love this. Like, I feel like this sounds really cool, and I can't think of any other game that sounds like this right now. And I think I'd really enjoy that.
Well, here's the pitch a little further. God, I never thought I would be talking about The Quiet Man on the reset button again. I thought I escaped that, but here we are once again in my life. So it's Square Enix. If that helps or hurts, I don't know.
oh.
It's Square Enix.
And what year this come out? It's gonna be
20
good.
2017, yeah.
Oh, it's fairly new.
Yes.
What? How have I never literally like? I haven't heard of this. I'm like shocked.
Sony, not Sony, Square shadow dropped it. My belief is because they knew it would not get good reviews. It would not be seen favorably. They shadow dropped it. And they shadow dropped it with a very cheap price. And to this day, I think it's only gotten cheaper. And digital only, I believe.
Yeah.
So you
Okay,
can't
I'm gonna go and look on the
buy it.
PlayStation Store when we're done here, because like there's sales, and I will put it on my wish list.
I almost feel like we should make this some type of stream. Like if we can get Liz to stream to the, and then
I'll do
you and
it.
I just be on the call, and we'll just sit there and be like, yeah, she really doesn't know what's gonna happen.
Okay, you guys don't know, like, I relish in playing bad games.
Oh my god.
Like, I don't know if you knew this, but I think I spend way more of my time playing like shit versus like actual quality. Like, so this is kind of how I feel with films and like almost every piece of media in my life. I need something that is like, cane, twirl my mustache and sip my tea with my pinky up, or I need to like play or witness something equivalent of like The Fucking Room. Like there's like no like C grade media in my life. It's like up here or it's down there.
Oh yeah, 20-year anniversary at the Room coming up very soon.
Oh,
So excited.
Like a couple
Oh,
weeks.
I'm so
Yep.
excited.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have a Discord party where we're gonna watch it, and
Oh my
then
gosh,
at some point I'm going to
please.
play the Room game. Because I played it before, but I don't think I have another
Is it like an
recording of it anywhere.
actual game or is this like an indie like silly thing?
So this is a Newgrounds game, created by created by one of the creators of Newgrounds. He got bored one day and he's just like, "Can I make a Room Flash game?" And he did. It's a point and click adventure. So
Wait,
you
wait.
replay the entire movie.
Wait, was this
That's
done by
awesome.
Tom Fulp? Was it done by Tom
Yes.
Fulp? Oh,
Yes.
dear Christ. You're kidding
Dude,
me.
this is sick.
Oh, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
The point and click adventure. You reenact the entire movie, at least from Johnny's point of view. So
And-
Tommy's point of view. So
Oh.
And can I throw this out here?
Throw it.
On multiple secondhand accounts, the Tommy Wiseau underwear is actually, in fact, very comfortable, and I've had multiple people confirm this with me. So, I mean, I'm actually not joking. So, that's like the level of like crazy my friends and I are.
Oh my god. Chat, anybody watching this right now or anybody listening to this later, you've got to help Liz get a copy of The Quiet Man so you can...
yes.
It's so legendarily bad when it comes to me that when I won over at Game Days for Good the ability to make all the hosts play a game of my choosing, everyone instantly assumed because I shared one picture that it was going to be The Quiet Man. It's that bad.
That's awesome.
And I have that reputation now.
I really hope you make her play it.
Okay,
Because
so
then you
hold
win
on.
that thing.
Let's refocus back on the ROM hack.
Yeah, we were talking about
We're
Rob Hack.
getting
We wanted
so-
to play.
Okay, we are getting so derailed.
Just,
So,
Derailed right off the cliff.
So I kind of did a little bit of research into it. You know, this is gonna sound like really silly, but I don't really feel compelled to play ROM hacks, not because of like the concept of whatever they are, you know, what they are. But I'm the kind of person where I'm like, everything on the internet is gonna like hack my computer and I'm downloading a virus. So I don't really feel compelled to like have emulators and other things. I'm sure like there's a million things that are safe out there, but like me being edgy and like downloading Sims, like not ROM hacks obviously, but like custom content people make is like me living on the edge. But
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's just like the barrier of like PC gaming and like, oh, I'm gonna have to go download something and I'm scared that I'm gonna ruin my computer. So, but that's what's deterred me from it. But I've seen a lot of the big popular thing right now are like the remixes of a lot of these games and randomizers, which I think are really good if you want to play that game again. But I think if I had this like pre-2010, I probably would have explored this more. But at this point, if I want to replay games that I've already played, I'm at a point where I'm like, there's people that played games when I was younger, like people my age plus or minus a certain point, where we have the same nostalgia factor for games, where I'm like, well, I'm at a point where I'd rather just play a new game or try out something new. But I think I would have liked this a lot longer ago, but like I don't know how you guys do those randomizers, but like I'm so stressed even watching, and I get a lot of entertainment value seeing people play them. That's kind of like where I'm at with that, but I'm always willing to try.
I don't understand the randomizers either because sometimes it's just almost instant soft locks. That would annoy me to the point where I'm like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Or like the first 5 minutes of the game you're trying and it's like, soft lock, you're done. Thanks for coming out.
Or like the GTA things where it's like you're gonna die every 10 seconds. And I'm like, how do you even play the game? It's chaotic, but it's funny to watch.
With the Metroid Zelda randomizers, it gets to the point where like if you've played them enough, you kind of know a pattern. It's like, all right, let me go get them where the morph ball is first. See if there's anything there. No, cool. Okay, I know I've done all this. Let me flip over to Zelda, and I know like there's like tons of treasure chests around. They'll have at least something good, or else they'll have $20. It's kind of been my curse with these randomizers.
See, I could probably do like Link to the Past for the most part, because that's something I complete every single year. I know Link to the Past pretty well, but like what Wolf does, for example, TL Wolf, if anybody doesn't know who we're talking about, he's another host at Game Days. But if like I try to do what he did and add in both Zelda and Super Metroid. Like, what?
Oh, that's too much.
Yep. Oh, he does
I mean,
this regularly. Like, what is he doing?
Like, when I was kind of researching some of the popular ones, I think I would have gone wild for example, like a lot of like the Banjo-Kazooie and like Super Mario 64, like skins or redos that people did. I think I would have, like, I'm thinking like when I was a kid, if I had access to something like that, it would have like made this game so totally new and interesting. And I kind of like looking up some of like these more popular ones. I'm like, what? I didn't know that existed. Like it sounds kind of cool to play. But then I think about like, man, I've had both the ukulele games for like 5 years and like spent money on that already. So I don't know. I have to kind of pick and choose, but I do want to try something, but I do not want to do the randomizers. I get stressed watching them, but Johnny, what are like aside from doing like randomizers, mixers, etc., what are some of the ones that you've really, really liked versus what you disliked and why?
The ones I really like are like the full conversion. So I'm talking like Mario. Mario 3, there's one called Mario 3 Mix. So it lets you play as Mario, Luigi, and Toad. And it fuses in together so many other elements from other Mario games. So like the first few levels are like Mario 1, 2, I think there's a couple of 3 levels in there, but they've also added in like the ability to use Yoshi, which is something that like they weren't able, like Nintendo programmers weren't even to do. And these modders are just like, oh yeah, threw Yoshi in there, you hit the B button, swallow the guy, get a coin. They've also like added in stuff in the Game Boy games, and there's even one point where it's straight up Super Mario Galaxy. Like you go from world to world, and there's gravity physics. So like jump towards an island, and then all of a sudden Mario's flipped upside down and lands on another part. I'm like, I don't know how you did it, but like, man, is this game ever awesome?
Whoa. So I've got a question. I've got a question on that because you mentioned Yoshi in Mario 3. Like, are they still working within the confines of like a Mario 3 cart?
Oh yes.
So I wonder how it looks.
What?
If it's like a good design.
Because you and I both know
the same. Because like Yoshi is technically in like the sprite work is in Mario's Missing, I believe.
Yeah.
So like they someone just basically took those files and integrated it, and they
pretty
probably
much
filled in animations if they had to.
Yeah,
that's actually really cool.
It's not without its bugs. Like there is a little bit, there's a little bit of slowdown. There's way too many enemies on screen or enemies ready to come into place there. So yeah, there's a little bit of that. But they added in the penguin suit from New Super Mario Brothers, so you can actually freeze enemies and kick them.
That's so cute.
There's actually like a checkpoint system, like in later Mario games. So like you get a mushroom, you go big if you're small, and then that's your checkpoint. They've also added in like the 3 large coins, the star coins, because then there's like another section that's like extra levels to go and spend your coins to try and complete there's like a whole negative world. Like, it's such a crazy hack, and I love it. And
So I'm gonna ask, so if you're playing like these randomizers, do you put time into playing like Mario Maker or even making your own levels? I'm
did
just
at
curious
one
about
point.
that.
I did at one point, and then I look at other people's levels. I was like, I'm never going to get anywhere close to that creative. I basically create the levels I make in Mario Maker. Whenever I made them as if they were going to fit in with Mario 3 or Mario World or whatever Mario template I picked. Then I got to a point where I was just like, hey, can I recreate another game level but make it Mario? So I actually did the first area of Bionic Commando in Mario 3 on Mario Maker, which actually I thought turned out pretty well, but
that actually doesn't surprise me that she did that.
Yeah, Bionic Commando is probably one of my favorites. But back to the hacks though, like you were mentioning before, like the Banjo-Kazooie ones. There's one I want to try out where it's basically Banjo-Kazooie in Ocarina of Time.
It's like, what?
So like
really funny.
like the whole, like it's the entire area, all the dungeons. You get the Jiggies, you get the Jingos, you get all that stuff, and they actually remix the music of Ocarina of Time in the style of Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh my god, I just want to listen to that. Like if I don't play it, I want to hear their soundtrack.
Same. I gotta at least hear the soundtrack, but I want in on that so bad.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the adult that never grew out of Banjo-Kazooie, and I'm like, this is gold. It's a gold Jiggy. I love it.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it.
But I think that's the appeal. I definitely want to play one of those because I do sorely miss it. But I'm like, okay, no, I have to do the ukulele thing first because again, it's the same thing, kind of different. But I don't know. I think at least for me, I think maybe I could find satisfaction in a lot of these ROMs where when there's like a dead IP like Banjo-Kazooie, we don't talk about nuts and bolts in this house.
Or most houses.
I guess it's something to. I guess it's a way to like relive those games that are dead. I don't think the appeal for Mario or like a various like other Nintendo games is strong for me, but for games that it's like, man, it's been forever since there's been a sequel or another game, or we know there's definitely not something else coming. I think I would like to utilize like that aspect of the ROMs.
Yeah, those are the hacks I like, where it's just like it's a completely new game. I keep up with SNES Drunk on YouTube, and he usually puts out or NES or SNES ROM hack. And then I look at the ones that's like, oh yeah, this one like actually makes Final Fantasy 3 into 6 more traditional, like that's the way it was intended to be without all the censorship and the bug fixes and all that. Then there's people that have made like side stories to RPGs like Chrono Trigger. And I was like, oh man, I'd really love to play that too.
Kind of like like if an actual good fan fiction was like canonical in the game world, kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, there have been ones where they've made it so that Chrono Cross ties in with Chrono Trigger. They've made one where it's like
I still haven't like beat both those games, so I don't know.
okay, I'm not going to say anything then. I don't want to mess that up for you.
No, again, like I'm going to play them, but it's just the time. Okay.
No,
so don't give me shade. It's on the to-do list.
There was one I tried out recently that's of this game here, Team NT2, the arcade game, where basically someone modified it so that you can have like selectable colors, and you could do basically the jump kick from any point. You don't have to wait until like the arc of your jump. So I could just like spam jump kicks as much as possible. I was like, wow, I could really wreck this game with this mod. I'm trying to think though if there's like a mod that I've ever played that I didn't like. Okay, there is one. And the sole reason is because it's not finished. It wasn't finished, or it's glitched. It's Peach and Daisy in the Ultimate Quest. So it's a Mario, shockingly no, Mario 3 ROM, but you play as Peach and Daisy. And in the first level, they show off all their cool tricks. So they have instead of the frog suit, you turn into a mermaid.
Oh,
I thought that was pretty cool.
Cute.
But they have all the other powers there. They have like fire and but the problem is that it seems like the hackers only got up to World 1 and then just gave up, because as soon as you hit World 2, you start to go into a world, it glitches.
Aww.
Like I think I saw one person had to like game genie in a cloud, so like it would go past the level, and it's like, okay, all the other levels work. I was like, oh man, like I just wish someone could go in and like finish this. There's so many hacks I've had that like just go unfinished, or people just gave up halfway. We played one one night. It was yeah.
Okay, so like when I think of like Peach in Mario games, it's like, oh, she's like good with jumping and floating. So what sort of like edge or attribute did Daisy have in that game?
Well, they didn't change the physics, so basically, like it's still like Mario and Luigi physics, in Mario 3. So it's just she doesn't float like she does in 2, in 3D World. So it's just just think you'll still have the same momentum as you do as Mario and Luigi with Peach and Daisy.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, there was one that we were trying out that someone had reskinned Metroid with Mario sprites. And it was looking to be really cool. And then I started getting up to the vertical area, gross. And it's like, yeah, this is like, oh, they gave up. It's like, yeah, I'm done making this hack. The first level was fun, but now I'm bored.
Metroid is like way too scary to put like a Mario skin and just slap it on. I feel like I'd be more scared of that than like actual Metroid.
Some of the good ones I've seen are also just poking a lot of fun at the whole ROM hack thing, because at this point, we've had well over a decade, almost 2 decades of ROM hack stuff, and I'm not going to say it's all been done, because somebody's going to come along and shock us, but a lot of it's been done. And the number one thing I can think of right off the bat that pokes fun at that entire community is Abobo's Big Adventure. I'm sure Johnny have heard of that. I don't know if Liz has.
That. Yeah.
No, I've heard of it, but I don't really know much offhand.
Technically not a ROM hack, but it is a really good Flash game. So it was made by one dude. Basically took Abobo from Double Dragon.
Yes.
And it's the same story as Double Dragon, but instead of Marion getting a punch to the gut, it's Abobo's kid, Abobo Jr. So basically... You go through like various worlds and various game styles from the NES to save your kid. So like at first it's like Double Dragon, you're beating up everyone. But then like other sprites show up. It's like, oh, there's Donkey Kong, you gotta go beat him up. Oh, there's the Ninja Turtles, right?
You have to go through
like
Labyrinth
swimming around
Zelda.
like Mario.
Like
yeah, it's a mashup of everything. And I think like at the end it's basically Punch Out, but
it does become Punch Out.
You're the perspective of Abobo, like as like the main guy, so you're punching down on Little Mac. It is so great. I love it so much.
Yeah, I've definitely
trying
heard
to find it on my
buzz
computer.
about it.
Yeah, that in Mario Crossover, if you've ever played that.
Yeah, there was.
No, I haven't, but
I've heard of that, and then there's also Mega Man versus Street Fighter. There's been quite a few that. Oh,
yep.
It exists.
Yep.
I mean,
it totally
I'm
exists.
surprised, but it sounds
that
cool.
It's a fan game that Capcom basically took from this creator, because they're like, we have nothing for our anniversary for Mega Man. Can we have this? Sure. Just give me credit. Oh yeah, we'll throw your name up there somewhere. But basically, it's a Mega Man game, but the robot masters are Street Fighter characters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of funny playing when you fight really. when you fight Relento and he does the Scrooge McDuck pogo stick bounce, and it's the same sounds.
Great.
It's a really good soundtrack too, because it's a mix of like Mega Man songs and Street Fighter. So like you get a little bit of the Mega Man. Yeah.
Are they like actual remixes, or is it just like the song straight from?
Oh no, they're remixes. Like it's in the Mega Man style.
Okay, that's really cool. I want to look into that. That sounds really fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of them, like even though they're kind of being cheeky with it, it still has its own brand of fun, and I think that's why that community is it's still so strong today. But like I said, I'm not gonna say it's all been done, but it's largely been done. So I don't know.
It
what
might
we
be
could
exhausted
see
for the time being until somebody comes up with like a really sick idea. That's kind of the impression I'm getting based off of what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's been handled. I'm not sure, at this point, what we could see moving forward, like in terms of it. I mean, Johnny, can you think of any game, like major game, 8-bit, 16-bit, that hasn't really been tackled like that? I'm struggling.
Yeah, because like the main one, if you ever go on romhacking.net, which is where you can find all the files except for the ROM files, Google is your friend on those. But like it's a great site though that like will teach you how to implement these hacks. Another one of the big hacks I didn't talk about was the MSU system. So what that does is it removes the music from the games but replaces it with like CD quality audio. I have Killer Instinct on Super Nintendo that actually has the Killer Cuts soundtrack on there.
Oh my god.
It sounds glorious. So yeah, like you hear the actual rock music, and not to say that the soundtrack on the SNES is bad, but like hearing the CD, they do that also with Chrono Trigger and Link to the Past. Chrono Trigger will put in CD quality audio, and also will put in the PlayStation 1 cutscenes.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
And there is one for Link to the Past that someone like hand drew like an opening cutscene with voice acting and music, and it's pretty crazy. Basically what it does though is it will, because these files are so like high quality, it will quadruple the size. You gotta have it on its own independent folder, but it's really cool. Someone I started following on Twitch goes by the name of Pig Kitty Rose. Every Monday does a Super Metroid Zelda randomizer, and it somehow has a hack where she'll put in her own music. When I rediscovered her and started following her, all the music in Zelda and Metroid were replaced with GoldenEye music. And the best too is that when she used the magic mirror to go between the light and dark world, it played the song when you die in multiplayer. So it's like da 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 da, and it just fits so perfect.
Oh my god!
I'm trying to think of the other one I was thinking of.
I just know I gotta check
it
out that Link to the Past opening that you were talking about. That is on my priority list. Also, I've got the hottest take for chat and anybody listening to this later on. Best character select music in any fighting game ever. Killer Instinct. I truly believe that. And this is a Mortal Kombat diehard you're hearing it from. I'm just saying, it is the best. So,
well,
and you're hate mail to me.
Shade. No shade.
All right, we'll switch. Switch gears.
I'm pretty good with MVC though. MVC is a pretty good one.
See, now that one's more fun.
Or is that the opening? I don't remember.
Are we talking about MVC or MVC2?
MVC.
Okay.
Although I do like MVC2. Gotta take you for a ride.
MVC is more fun. I'll give you that. It's more fun. But KI, the soundtrack version, like the one you're talking about, it's it is just fist hitting, just ready. Nose to the grinder, ready to throw down kind of goodness. That's why I say it's got to be number one.
So, not necessarily ROM hacks, but it kind of falls into the realm of fan games. I know, Reset, you sent me a photo there. It's like, hey, I'm doing research, and you're playing Mortal Kombat New Era again.
Mm-hmm. I love that game. See, that's my thing when it comes to like ROM hacks like that. I want to see, what are you capable of doing? Because you can take the game and you can tweak it a little bit, add this or that. I want to know, how far are you willing to go? And once you go that far, does the game even run? And for everybody who hasn't tried Mortal Kombat New Era, if you're a fan of Trilogy and that era of MK, try it out, because I'm not even sure how this game functions, man. They have stuffed so many characters in this thing.
Is it like just so over like loaded with like extra stuff, essentially?
Oh yes, like basically the entire cast of Mortal Kombat, and that's even including like Mythology Sub-Zero. Some OCs are in there.
Yes.
I described it to my coworker at work because I showed him the photo of you playing. And she's like, "What's this?" And I said, "Oh, it's a PC game that's Mortal Kombat." And also they got some OCs in there. Like, what if Scorpion had boobs? It's Scorpy.
There's also one character that is so OP that it's dumb, and I was tearing through half the game. I was doing like one of the endless runs, and I think I got 22 wins in a row, and barely knew the character at all. Absolute zero. Not Sub-Zero, absolute zero.
Absolute zero.
Yeah.
Sounds like we're getting into mathematics here.
He freezes guys every time they hit him. It's,
oh, wow.
Yeah, it's fucked. It's fucked. But it was so fun playing that.
It sounds like they need to have a patch to rebalance the game.
Oh, God.
And then everyone's be angry because all their characters they liked are different now.
There's also, like, the cast of Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
Yeah, they're in that, too.
It's, like, ridiculous fatalities. I mean, also, too, there's several WWF wrestlers in there because WrestleMania, the arcade game. So you got Undertaker, Razor Ramon.
They were in there.
Homer Simpson's in it.
What?
Homer is in it. All of the horror characters that they added to various Mortal Kombat games are in it. Were Leatherface,
Alien,
Jason
Predator.
Voorhees.
Horror film. Gotcha. Slasher guys.
Pyramid Head is in it. Because why not?
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan, yeah.
Because we got that Fist of Fury game. I don't know if you've ever played any of the Jackie Chan fighting games. Those are crazy. I gotta get you. If you're not already set up on Fightcade, I should get you set up on Fightcade to try that.
Lord Gothard in chat says, I used to think ROM hacks were adding physical cartridges like soldering different joints.
Well, that's the thing too, because like when a ROM hack is really good, people will make reproduction carts of it. My local record store, I saw, and he was selling it for $100. It was Zelda Outlands. It was probably like one of the really first great ROM hacks of Legend of Zelda.
Those at gaming, like retro gaming cons in particular. I can't remember. I think I had bought a ROM hack in the past. It's something I don't have anymore. Like, I'm particularly looking for translated games that never came to US, where it's like, of course I could get it online and do that, but again, my paranoia with PC stuff, and I'd rather play on the console. I do get games, like, I don't know if it really counts in the ROM hack world, but I do find translated games where it's like, oh, Cody really wants to play Fire Emblem. Okay, I'm going to find the older ones, and they're translated or whatever.
That still counts, yeah, because like there's still work put in, and you're physically altering the ROM file. So yeah, the translations definitely counts. And translations
help so much. Stuff, I feel like there was something I had bought in the past, or like my ex had bought in the past that was definitely ROM hack level, and it was something like I have to think about it. I have to like look at what's out there and available. But it was something that was either not accessible in the US and not necessarily translation or maybe a port of something. I really don't remember. It had to have been like from like Super Nintendo era, I think.
And it's still, like you were saying, Johnny, completely possible to flash a ROM hack or homebrew onto like a cartridge if it's like NES era, for example. Because I mean, you can go out and you can get shells to do that. For anybody watching live right now, you can see in my hand, this is a blank cartridge that you could put something in that we have turned into the mascot for Co-op Campus. This is Valley, the valedictorian.
Look at that.
But yeah, you can do that, and some places do sell it if you want like a physical version instead of just playing it on your PC. Yeah. And
that and
it's gaming, man.
Flashcards. Flashcards, you can throw them on that and throw that into the system as well. That's what some creator friends of mine locally around here have. They have a flashcard NES, and there was one night there they had a drinking game with playing the Mario Brothers 2-player hack. So it takes the original Mario Brothers, but you play as Mario Luigi at the same time.
Oh my God,
the problem with that being is that sure. It has to track both people running at the same time. So if one person stops, the screen stops scrolling. And if one person dies, you don't share lives. Everyone has individual lives, so you're going to be fighting for power-ups and lives as well. But when one person dies, you restart at the last checkpoint. So it makes for some entertaining nights. If you think you know Mario Brothers, you think your partner knows Mario Brothers, this will put it to the test.
Getting teamed up with somebody, and you're just like, okay, Don't let me down, and then they just keep letting you down all night. Oh my god, that would be so stressful.
Dude, I could not play that. I could not play that with my partner. I feel like I'd be very angry all the time.
Yeah, that sounds
Probably
like
one
a
of the-
new level of stress.
Probably one of the other last things I wanted to bring up about like the ROM hacking and fan stuff. The system called I don't know if you're aware of this one, Patrick, but Open BOR or Beats of Rage. So if Mugen is like it's what Mugen is to fighting games, Beats of Rage is to beat 'em ups. So I've seen people make some crazy amounts of beat 'em ups. My favorite one, and I'm repping the shirt tonight. It's called TMNT Rescue Palooza. So it plays exactly like Turtles 2 and 3 on the NES. So it's 4-player. You can start as the Turtles, and every time you beat a level, you unlock the boss or the person you rescued. So like, let's say if you start off in April's apartment, you beat Bebop and Rocksteady. So Bebop and Rocksteady and April are now selectable for the next levels.
So it's almost like Castlevania 3, just getting more people on your team.
Yeah, and some of them like they're melee, some of them are ranged. So like Bebop and Rocksteady, they're just ranged, so they shoot their guns.
So
and then you have people that are just.
Then I just make sure I heard you right.
Sorry.
Are the recruits random? If I'm hearing you right.
No, they're predetermined in whatever level you select.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it's not necessarily random, but you're not going to get the same order of people depending on how you play then. So it makes me kind of think like when you're playing Mega Man and it's like, oh, there's like a better order to play the game to get different abilities to help you out. That might be a strategy to play it.
Unless it's Mega Man 2, but yeah.
Yeah, it's still in the realms of like of a beat 'em up. And like I tell you, like they pull so many references from like the Mirage comics, the Archie comics, the show, the movies, the games themselves. There's like one level that you have to go to the swamp. There was no swamp level in Turtles, so it's just the first level of Bayou Billy with the music. So it's just like, it's
a little,
it's so great.
Throw in.
And there's another one that I've recently downloaded. I was keeping an eye on. Someone made a beat 'em up with He-Man and Masters of the Universe. They used they somehow got like the original Prince of the Cell animations, so it looks like the original cartoon, but you're just going around Eternia beating up. Yeah,
I remember seeing that. That was when I was still doing Screw Attack News. That was ages ago. So that finally
they've had a more recent one there. Oh yeah, they had a more recent one come out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about, and that's why like. I know some people are purists and are like, well, you've got to pay for it. You've got to always make sure that you're purchasing the game. And I mean, if you can, sure. But, you know, if you're a true game fan at heart, are you going to turn down the opportunity to try something like that? I mean, I don't think I could. See, Grayskull approved. See, there we go. Grayskull approved. I hope that's not the title of the game. That would not be a good title.
No, I think it's just basically called He-Man.
Okay. Don't go
looking for
little
Samson. I want to say they put She-Ra
Samson
in there too, because I think the purpose of the game is technically it's He-Man teaming up with Skeletor to take on Hordak, which was the villain from She-Ra. So I think She-Ra's in there too. So.
We're going to switch gears, but first, just really quick, I saw this in chat. I have to bring it up because somebody said don't go looking for Little Samson. I've already seen Little Samson in person before. Steel in box. That was encased in glass, and there was no way on earth they were going to let me hold it.
Okay. I have a bid, Bob. $3,620.
You are very close here on The Price is Right.
Too much money. Just forget about it. Ugh. Just like find it on the internet. And download it if you want to play that.
Johnny was very close here on The Price is Right. I believe what the store was asking for $3,500.
It's insane.
$3,500. Okay, so I would have gone over.
That.
Out of curiosity, I'm going to Price Chart. I want to know how much Little Samson is right now.
Oh no, this is so painful.
It's had to have gone up.
Drum roll. Boop, 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 boop,
I didn't even know what Little Samson was until I watched the Game Chasers.
It's
Okay,
a
Loose.
not great NES game.
Or like
I've
all
never like sat down to like play it, but like I pop it in or I turn it on every
talks
once
that
in a
there's
while.
like these like terrible like shitty like bad selling games that are like among the rarest, and it's like, oh, obviously because it didn't sell and they didn't print, or there's some other little weird history thing. I just think like nobody actually wants XYZ game, and it's not worth that money.
Loose 2800, complete, inbox 4600.
Okay, it's gone up.
That's how much it got. Oh, it's gone way up.
Mhm.
You guys should play Mr. Nuts instead.
I'd rather do that. I'd rather play No One Can
Actually-
Stop Mr. Domino.
I think at some point there that whoever has the rights there, whoever has the rights to title properties, they'll eventually put it out there because Mr. Gimmick actually is getting a release. If you know what Mr. Gimmick is.
I do not.
It's a platformer from Sunsoft. It only came out in Japan and Europe, and like you're like this little green guy. You throw stars, and like kind of like Kirby with the bomb ability in Superstar. You can
Mhm.
arc the star, and like you can either ride it or attack enemies with it. It was like a really good platformer. Never came out. Really expensive too because it was again late era NES game and didn't produce all that much. But
It falls in the
some
tropes
company-
of rare hard to
Yeah.
find game.
It's
yeah,
really
they're
strange.
releasing that for PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch and PC.
There you go. I mean, that's not going to cause it to calm down all that much, but if somebody wants to play it, you'll have the ability to now.
Well, yeah.
Because the thing is, it's not always... It usually is supply and demand, but it's not always that. Because think of my number one go-to I always bring up when it comes to that is Shaq Fu. Because there is an ongoing campaign to destroy all copies of Shaq Fu, yet the value of that game does not go up. Because
Is
it's
Is
a
that
meme.
technically still a thing?
At
Is
this
there
point,
someone still actively trying to do that?
somebody's got to be doing it for clout, I'd imagine.
I think the last time I destroyed one was like at least 7 or 8 years ago. I did destroy it, but yeah, that long ago. It's not been in recent history.
So that's my usual go-to. You know, like there was an active campaign to destroy that game. It's still around. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Because it's that terrible. It is the Quiet Man of fighting games.
But I'll love it. I'll love Quiet
I don't
Man.
know. Did you ever play?
You guys are like severely like doubting.
I don't know if we're gonna like. I didn't think Shaq Fu was that bad. You need to play Criticom on PlayStation.
I'd rather
I
not.
need-
Unless they're,
I
like,
need to
really
educate
bad
you on,
games at me, and I will play and figure out how to beat them.
You know what?
I won't say that you won't not beat Quiet Man. It's just, do you want to? You're playing it enough. It's
Oh
like,
my!
should
Stop
I?
selling it to me. You're selling it even more to me.
We'll do that for everybody at some point. Everybody watching live right now, I'm sure you want it. We'll make it happen at some point. Liz is going to play the Quiet Man. We'll all hang out and just try to stay quiet. Oh, I did not mean to say. No pun intended. Damn it. Okay. Hey, do you guys want to talk about PlayStation and get away from the
Yes.
Quiet Man?
Sure.
Well,
I don't have
yes
this light
and
back
no.
here for nothing.
I think we need
So-
to talk about the PlayStation Showcase.
For sure. I'm very curious to see what you guys think of the general lineup of games and which that was announced, and if there's anything that you're pretty excited for or things that you're like, pass, based upon your first impression.
Spider-Man 2? Oh
Day one for
my
me.
god!
Love this Spider-Man.
Oh, I was like,
Whew.
how do I get to the end of the video? Oh wow, this is like really long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude,
There's a lot
I
in there.
knew the Venom was going to be in the game, and obviously the symbiote suit had to show up. But then, like, they showed the symbiote gameplay, and I'm like, yes, fuck yes, let's go now. That was just, it looks sick.
You're really
It
really
looks
good.
sick.
Yeah.
And I feel very happy for people that want to play that game. But there's just a point in which like how many games can I play? And I don't know. I mean, like I'm not hating on the game. Like please don't take me as hating on the game, but I'm like, "Oh, that was the finale?" Okay.
To the first
no.
Spider-Man game?
I can see that.
Like no, I like these kinds of games. I just I feel overwhelmed. Like isn't the first one like you got New York or whatever area you're in, and it's a little open world-ish. Is that like the idea?
Yeah.
And obviously you have like the main it kind of like brings me back to our discussion with like last week with Zelda stuff where it's like these games are not bad, but I'm like I just don't have a drive. I don't have a drive to play this kind of game. But like I think I'm if they're to save anything as like the big hit awesome game, I'm glad that it was like another Spider-Man game, which I'm totally like not surprised that they have another one coming out. And I think it's really cool that like they have like the two Spider-Mans at least in that. And I think that will make it more interesting. Like I'm curious if it's going to be like multiplayer at all, or if it's like, hey, you're going to be swapping between different spiders. That's something that I'm not 100% sure about, but I'm curious about how they approach it. And I think that will make it a lot more interesting, especially if they have like that if there's like a co-op aspect. I think I'd much rather play that, to be honest.
Day one, I don't think they're going to do that. It looks like it's going to swap between Peter and Miles.
Okay.
But they could add that in later. I wouldn't see why not.
I mean, I'm like I guess I would definitely want to play it if it's couch co-op, I guess. Because like every time I see like a couch co-op game where it's like we split screen or it's like, you know, two characters on the same screen, I'm like, oh my God, I want to play this. So I think I'm really interested to see what they do with that, because I would, if that's the case, I will play the first game. I know I'd probably really like it, but there's just such an overwhelming amount of games and a lot of games of this variety. But if they do that, I would definitely pick it up.
I can understand where you're coming from there, because it's a big, overwhelming game. Plus, I think everybody knew. I think the two big shocks that people did not know about this one is you were going to play a symbiote Spidey, and that Kraven the Hunter was there. But I mean, that was a shock to me. But then again, I guess I lived in a closet because people were like, they finally said Kraven's coming, so other people already knew. Not sure. But I'm curious what additional stuff they're going to do. They do have the option to do multiplayer couch co-op with both Spideys, which I think would be a great idea.
Please, I want more split screen.
And Silent Hero in the chat has said that Insomniac has confirmed that it is just single player.
Day one, sure. They say that right now, but that can always be added later. Plus, the other thing I was about to bring up can be added later. PlayStation VR 2. That is another thing that they can add into it later, because they made sure to really drive that home right at the end.
They need to like put on a warning, like you need a barf bag just in case you're flying through the skies of New York City. That actually, it seems really cool, but like, what if you have like motion issues? I don't know.
They actually ran into that with that Star Wars Rogue game.
Oh.
Because there was a lot of like space flight and everything in that, and I think you know, some people could only withstand it so long, and then
it's a bummer.
Yeah. I have to take, when I have PlayStation VR 1 on my 4, now 5, I have to take frequent breaks on that, because like thanks to the fact that the load times on some games are pretty long, it gives me a second to like take the headset off and take a breather. Like I had to do that for Iron Man. Like after every level I had to take the headset off, and because like that one was really disorienting. But man, it's so much fun. If you get a VR headset that has Iron Man, like that's such a great game.
I loved when I tried VR. I didn't try a whole lot of it. Ice brought her stuff over, and we tried VR that way. But I don't know. PlayStation VR 2, expensive. I don't think it has nearly enough software to really support it quite yet.
I mean, it's always like the beginning of so many things where, unless like you're so gung-ho, just like wait, it's gonna be like $100 on sale within like the next year or two. on Black Friday. So, and by the time that you get it, there's gonna be so much more. I feel like I'm much more keen on getting like a console day one versus like an auxiliary part or an accessory. Because like let me put it like this, like, okay, I bought a PS5 day one. Okay, I could play all my old stuff. There's a bunch of new stuff coming out. I know I can count on XYZ devs making these games within the first year or two. And then the VR is such a hyper specific subject that, I think there's going to be a lot of releases where people are going to be adding VR aspects to games, and it might not even be that good. They're just gonna do it, or Sony's gonna give them a little chunk of change and be like, all right, do your VR version of this. And I think it's gonna compromise certain like DLC or updates of certain games, but not everything's gonna have VR. So unless I did find a way to do it, that'd be cool. But I wouldn't even stress if you don't get it right away.
No, you probably shouldn't. But I would say anyone who's interested really should consider going PlayStation, even if you don't have one at the moment. Because, I mean, I'm not going to tell you I'm a big tech guy. I do like tech. I listen, but I'm not an expert. I have listened to some of the experts over at LTT, Linus Tech Tips, and this appears to be one of the best devices on the market for VR. Like, it's crazy what this thing is capable of doing. It is designed to be used for long periods of time and to make sure that, the sickness that you'll experience or anything like that is minimized. So
That's cool.
I think it's going to be a big, big hit.
And like, I would even rationalize it if you haven't bought any other version of VR and it's like, this is your first entry. And it's like, well, you've held off for like, how long has VR been out? Mainstream, over 5 years at this point. So, I mean, I guess I would encourage, if you haven't bought it, it's not like you haven't sunk hundreds, if not thousands of dollars getting new headsets. So I think there is that incentive if it is like the really big cutting edge in terms of technology.
Moving away from that just a moment, the one game that I really, really liked that I saw there, this might shock people, I don't know, because there's so many things in there, so many different games to talk about, but can we just talk about Foam Stars and how much I adored everything that I saw in that? I mean, they didn't show a whole lot, but wow, that was great.
Okay. This is going to sound silly, and I feel like, I guess what I'm going to say is I don't know if it's controversial or not. I have no idea. I saw that and I was like, wow, I want to cosplay everyone in this game. For one thing, they're very cute. The design is perfect. However, I'm like, wow, I'll actually play Splatoon because I don't have to plug in my Switch.
Yeah. That kind of looked like Splatoon and Fortnite had a fusion dance.
Yes,
looks really cute.
I'm very, very, very wary though, because if this is a free to play model,
is it?
That's gonna rely. I don't know. I'm just saying, if it is a free to play model, how long is this gonna survive? Because the last few games that have attempted a free to play or battle royale model are now pretty much gone. Like Knockout City, oh god, it's Rubbleverse.
Yes, right.
And Multiverses is on a hiatus right now, so
it's not going to come back in good light. So
yeah, Foam Stars looks really cute, and like it sucks because it's like, oh, I do like Splatoon, but I don't know. I just like have so many issues playing games online. That's a me thing. That's not everybody else. I am like the huge minority in this situation, but I'm like, oh, it looks pretty, and like I don't know. I felt pretty hyped watching that trailer, so I do feel like I'm betraying playing Splatoon, but I don't want to like reactivate my Nintendo Online right now. Like, I already have my PlayStation. I never like let that expire because free games. I don't play online. I just want the free games. So
I think this could probably fill in that Splatoon void for a lot of people, because it definitely feels and looks like it from everything we've seen. Yeah. And along with that, strategically, it looks like it's got a lot more to offer as well. I mean, characters were like building hills so they could get like the upper hand and different things like that going on. There was a lot happening on that screen versus, I mean, let's face it, Splatoon's good, but you kind of go in knowing what's going to happen.
Where I think the foam, like you're saying, like building the mountains, there might be like literal dimension to that. And also Nintendo does like no offense, Nintendo, but I feel like Nintendo is too old school for to its detriment with so many things where they're not going to release like frequent enough updates or they're willing to change certain things in a lot of their games. So if it does take like the Splatoon model, I think it might make a healthier game that where they're going to provide more variety and add extra things to it for the good.
You hit the nail on the head. Like, Animal Crossing is drowning right now. There's so much wrong with that game.
Just don't even talk about it. I'm gonna cry.
And it's drowning. Let's see. Another game that I thought was really amazing. Phantom Blade Zero. Thought that looked great. Because the combat that they were showing in that looked like...
Oh, is that the one where it's like you got 66 days to live? Or is that something else?
That was the one where it was some sword combat, some really fast-paced sword combat that actually looked like fluid. It didn't look video gamey, is the way I'd put it. It looked like...
Hold on, there was disclaimers on half of these where it's like, this is not gameplay footage, this was played on a PC, so we can't get, like, dazzled by, like, half of these games at least. Yeah. So remember that.
Well... Yeah. The thing with that, they have to say that this is like an FMV on PC. If they say it's played on PC, what they mean is they're just, using high-end graphics.
Beautiful engine to run it.
Yeah. I mean, it should still look close to that good on current hardware that we have, because Mr. PCMR over here is going to tell you guys, we've hit a plateau for the most part, and we're going to be okay for a little bit. So most of the stuff you're seeing there should continue to be that good.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, like, if we're talking about like PS5, which is the huge push with Sony, obviously, it's still very early, like it's in its first half of its life. I mean, things look great. So I'm like, honestly, like, I'm not really worried about graphics on games anymore. Like, I don't know. I don't stress about that in particular.
Yeah. I just want them to run.
Exactly. And then just kind of like, I pulled up a list and I want to kind of like boom, 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 I guess, through some of these. Like they opened up with Fair Games, which it kind of gave me like a Payday 2 but colorful vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have an issue with like muddy games, and I guess this is me being like an artsy person. Not that Payday 2 doesn't, or like Payday and Payday 2, like they have their own vibe and aesthetic, but it seemed, one thing that I really liked about most of these games, a lot of them had a lot of vibrancy, and I appreciate that. But I am disappointed by what I saw with Final Fantasy 16. Not that I am not a Final Fantasy fan anymore. Let me just say that there's too many. I can't say I'm broadly a fan of the whole series. I'm like, this game looks boring as shit. Why is everything brown and gray? I mean, we do have our edgy, like, beautiful anime boys and girls in this, but I'm like, how are these other devs like pulling out like these really beautiful games? But Final Fantasy, which I think is known for a lot of its artistic qualities in previous entries, why does it look like shit?
I didn't even consider that. I think
I hate this.
What they're trying to do with that game is just dazzle everybody with pretty much the Devil May Cry gameplay, the Devil May Cry combat, because that's pretty much what they're emulating with this. And I guess if you have already played enough Devil May Cry games and you're not all that impressed, well, I think she just, pointed out a major flaw there. Because, yeah, it is getting more colorful. Look at Street Fighter 6, for God's sake.
Oh, so much color on that.
I like colors. I like colors. I'm not wearing a lot of colors right now, but I'm tired today. That's why I'm wearing like dark. But I love colors, and I think Foam Stars, they nailed it.
Kind of going back to that, I was kind of curious as to why Sony would bring Final Fantasy 16 and Street Fighter 6 on stage, because Street Fighter 6 comes out next week.
Yeah,
like we already know everything on there.
I'm like, this is out in like 3 weeks or something. I'm like, what is going on?
Capcom cut a big check.
Probably.
Last minute sales, please.
One that keeps popping up that me and a friend of mine are really excited for is the Plucky Squire.
That's the one where you're little RPG.
That's the one where you're in a storybook.
Yeah,
and when you're in the storybook, it's
really
2D.
Cute.
But when you go to the edge and you pop out, it's 3D. So you're like going around. It like I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah,
I'm surprised about the number of like cute games. like speaking in terms of art, because what are some of the games? Like I felt like there was games I didn't expect would be like announcement worthy because they seemed like smaller, like on the smaller scale or more of like, hey, this is gonna be $20 or less as a download. I got that impression with like the cat game and Plucky Squire, for example. And there was like at least one or two other games where I'm like, like this made it onto the big announcement. So, like like I guess if I saw these scrolling on the PlayStation Store, I'd be like, this is probably like a B grade game just off of a first impression. But I wonder like what the quality of the game is if they are pushing it on this big like promotional ad with all these other AAA titles. So I don't even know if these games are like considered indie or not. That wasn't really clear as far as I could tell.
I don't think it's indie, but they're definitely pushing them with the mindset of these are budget titles. You know, they're quirky, they're cute, they look fun, and they're priced right. Is the way that they usually try to put with these.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
So yeah, like, $25 probably.
Yeah, exactly. And then also too, I feel like the internet had a meltdown about Metal Gear, which is like great that we're giving the dogs the bone. I'm honestly more excited for like the old timey collection because I keep talking like I do want to replay them, but XYZ, and I did pick up 4 over like the Christmas season, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start hunting down the other games and play it. So actually, I'm kind of excited because I want to play it with Cody because I feel like it's not James Bond, but it gives me like crazy espionage James Bond vibes. I think like he has an experience. I keep talking about it, and since I went to Iceland, I want to play the new one. What is it called? The new Kojima game, not new.
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
Yeah, I want to play Death Stranding because I was like, oh, this takes place in Iceland, and now I am the Icelandic expert going there once in my life. So, I kind of wanted to replay the Metal Gear games, and I hope they come out with like another collection maybe in like another year. So I think I could redo
the Master Collection this one is titled Volume 1, and hope to God that with Volume 2, 4 is on there so we can get it off the PlayStation 3.
Yeah,
but then again, I thought about it though, like when you if they ever port 4 to anything other than PlayStation, they have to take that joke out. There is a joke. There's a fourth wall joke about the PlayStation 3 in there. They have to fortunately take that out.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I almost didn't want to say because like have you played 4? Liz?
Not in a long time. Like
I haven't really dived into 4 either.
Yeah, but this one, this Master Collection is going to have actually the MSX Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. So you actually start like right from the beginning. Then MGS1. They're actually going to have MGS VR missions in there too.
Oh, that's cool.
So like the PlayStation one.
I remember that.
So what about a remaster of like Metal Gear No Solid at the end? Like, what is this gonna happen? Are we stuck on the NES forever? That's my big question.
It would be interesting to see that happen.
Or like a reimagining would be interesting because there's like a lot of like weird story shit that people talk about, and it's like, well, unless I'm a nerd who's gonna read this and I'm not gonna play these games.
Zanzibar, Big Boss.
Like, I feel like there's a lot of important stuff that is so like that's brought up so often. And it's like, wow, these older games are like not accessible and people don't want to play this style of game.
There was a fan project. Someone was trying to remake Metal Gear Modern, and they somehow got David Hayter involved.
What?
But of course,
shut up.
They talked about it.
And CNS Sutherland, who is the later Snake?
And MGS5 and Ground Zeroes. That's Keither.
Yeah,
but I haven't played that yet. I don't know what the story. Apparently, that's not canonical. I don't know.
What?
It's
at some point I'm gonna go play. I'm gonna play all the Metal Gears in story mode and get it done.
It's a video game.
Exactly.
That's all I can say.
We're channeling. I have a GIF on my phone whenever I see, oh, this fan project just got taken down. It's a Wooly from the formerly the Super Best Friends just going, shut the fuck up. Don't tell me about that cool project you're working on.
Just stop it.
Just release it.
There
Just
was a
Put
release
it out
it.
there, and then someone will download it and like reshare and reshare,
Yeah.
and then it can't
And
be
then-
taken away.
And then you get the C&D and you go, oh,
Yep.
Turner.
There
I
was
can't
a
do anything
guy.
about it.
There was a guy.
I'm not making money.
re-
It doesn't matter.
And he was redoing Bloodborne. There was a guy redoing Bloodborne,
Oh.
Unreal Engine 5. And it was coming along wonderfully. It looked ungodly amazing.
Is it just to like make it better, or was he doing something special? Because I've never heard of this. I feel like this game is very new. It's not new, but it seems too new for someone to like want to tinker around with, in my opinion.
A lot of people are wanting like a remaster into better graphics, and
Mm.
it doesn't look like Sony's interested, and I don't think that FromSoft cares either, so it's just not been touched.
It is very much uniquely its own game where, like, Neo is one of their games, right?
Yeah.
I always get
No,
confused because there's like
Neo-
other
No.
Ninja. What's the other Ninja
Sekiro.
one? Or Sekiro.
Sekiro.
Okay, did they make
Yeah.
a Sekiro 2, by the way? I don't remember.
They did not.
Okay,
No,
gotcha.
latest one
'Cause
is Elden Ring.
Neo got
No,
a
okay.
sequel.
No,
Yeah, Neo-
they're
Neo
so
does have a
similar, and I
sequel.
mix those up with Sekiro. Okay.
No, I
Yeah.
get it. But the big thing with this guy, what was ultimately his fate, is he wouldn't stop posting updates on Reddit.
No, they watch on Reddit in particular. You know,
Yep.
creators always monitor what people talk about their stuff online in that space.
Ah,
Like, don't do it there.
Too, that you just brought that up because they're C&Ding someone making Bloodborne in Unreal 5, but yet the guy who made the demake, the Bloodborne PSX, that was okay.
Apparently, I know about both of those projects. Apparently,
I didn't even
the
hear about
demake
the
is okay.
PlayStation.
Oh,
That sounds really cool.
The other thing is, it doesn't run on an actual PlayStation. It's just
Mhm.
it just mimics
It
a
looks like it.
PlayStation. Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks like it looks
ridiculous.
like Nightmare Creatures if you've ever played that.
Oh
I
God!
think I actually like the demake. I mean, okay, so I'm not like a really big Souls fan. Let me just put it that way. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, the closest,
But-
the closest Souls I've ever played was Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay. Well, I really, really like Bloodborne. I think because I'm a faux goth kid. I'm like, wow, this is very old time, like actual goth vibes. I don't know. It's not goth, but like it feels goth, and that's why I like it
Right.
a lot more than the others. Like I could tolerate like this in my life way more than the other games. But let me see. So getting back to the other games listed at the Sony announcements, I am curious. I mean, I feel like Patrick's is a little obvious, but like, do you guys all have like a particular like game or two that you're like, oh my God, I have to get this because I have yet to reveal what I'm interested in most. Mm.
Well, for me, like Street Fighter 6, I've already pre-ordered it. Like,
Mhm.
I think after our session last weekend on the beta,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we've been firmly like, yeah, we're getting this. Like,
You guys are big into fighters.
yeah,
mean, I'm terrible, but yeah.
Oh, I'm not good at them.
So
Oh, I'm not good at them
definitely that.
either. I like having fun in them.
Like anything that's further out in the horizons, kind of like we're saying, it's like a little bit of a cheap shot that they announced things that are coming out in less than a month, I guess. But
Dragon's Dogma 2.
oh,
I've-
I forgot to talk about that.
Yeah. I'm stoked for that because I've admired the first game. Never was able to actually sit down and play it, but like I would definitely get the sequel a run for it. I have to talk really quickly about the Beat Saber announcement. Yeah, they put Beat Saber on
Oh
every
yeah, on the VR, right?
but they announced the Queen pack. So like a bunch of songs from Queen. And
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
and I thought about this last night because something popped up on my TikTok about Highlander, the television series, and it just dawned on me. I'm like, it's Beat Saber. You're using sabers are also swords. Why do you not have Queen's Princess of the Universe, the theme song to Highlander? That would be the best way to. That's your like. There could be only
What
one.
about
Come
the
on.
ogre battle?
Well, because they already had a decent choice, I guess, and there can be only one.
Whatever.
That's my bad joke for the night. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah, I didn't expect Beat Saber to be brought up as a game of interest, but definitely.
Oh no, I won't have that because I don't have VR2. I just wanted to bring
You'll
that
get
up
it
because that just
eventually.
drove
Don't
me nuts. I
stress.
was just like the Queen pack. It's like Princess of the Universe, like
Missed
Highlander.
opportunity. But definitely Dragon's Dogma. I don't think I'm gonna buy that game right away because like they're gonna add DLC and have like a perfect edition down the line. I still need to beat the first one. Honestly, that was one of the last games that I streamed on a regular basis before I like stopped streaming in general for a long time. But I know I keep saying like I can't do open world games. Ugh. I think like the structure of the first one, I felt like I didn't feel overwhelmed. And it gave me like vibes of, oh, this is just Elder Scrolls for weebs. Like that's kind of how I felt playing that game. I had like Elder Scrolls vibes, but I'm like, oh, this is such a Japanese dev game. Like I'm enjoying this. I didn't like feel like super stressed out and angry, and I felt really impressed that you could go to jail and actually sit out the terms of your jail time in game instead of trying to cheat it and just go to bed. This is really stupid, but that made me very happy. So I do want to revisit it, but I think I just got kind of discouraged, not because of the game, but because of streaming at that time. So I'll get that probably in a few years, but I'm excited for that.
My exciting, aside from Foam Stars, because I've already mentioned it, I think the other one that I really want to pay attention to, I'm not quite sold yet, but I want to pay attention to is I want to know a little more about Alan Wake 2. Because
yes,
I was a big
so
fan
excited.
of the original. Big fan. I love the whole
Dude,
story.
I had my friend Hall's Xbox 360 over like for like a whole summer to play that game, and it was great.
It also introduced me to the band Poets of the Fall, so I love that game so very much. So I'd like to see what's going on with the rest of it.
It looks cool. Everything I hear about it, it looks great. I don't think I'm gonna get that right away. I feel like it'll be on sale on Black Friday like a month later, like at least a little bit more. So I could wait a month if I really want to play it. Yeah. But I did get the remaster, and like I'm surprised. Like, I mean, I don't know the whole like history of what's going on with like the developer, blah blah blah. But I was surprised to see. I guess I shouldn't be surprised because I did do the remasters of like Alan Wake, and it was brought to PlayStation. But I was like, oh, Alan Wake that I've had so ingrained in my head, Microsoft because of the exclusivity, was announced on like we knew it was coming, but it had like it was showcased on the Sony showcase. So I thought that was interesting. I'm so like tunnel vision that this is an Xbox thing. So I thought that was a little surprising for me at least.
Aside from what you've already mentioned, Johnny, anything that you're really keeping your eyes on?
There's only one. Like I said, probably once Konami releases the Metal Gear Solid Volume 1 Master Collection to see what Volume 2 would be, because a lot of people have speculated MGS4, Portable Ops, Peace Walker, and then if there's a 3, that it would just be the rest. Like, even though it's not canonically part of the storyline, Ghost Babel on Game Boy Color, maybe Acid. I don't know if anyone remembers Metal Gear Acid.
I don't.
Oh,
that was the.
Is that the PSP? One of those.
Yes, yeah, it's one of the PSP games. It's the tactics game. It's a card battle game too.
Yeah, it's a little funny.
It's
not like a traditional game. Yeah.
And also a re-release of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
I got a hot take on the Metal Gear stuff. I got the hottest of take. Like, chat's gonna be mad at me, and that's fine.
No.
I
hope great. We like getting people upset in this house.
Fight me, fight me! I say. They announced that they're remaking the wrong one.
Why?
Oh,
they absolutely got the wrong one.
Really?
2. I want 2. Don't care about 3. I'll play it, but 2. 2 was the one that brought in. I mean, not only did it have a very unique kind of experience, and I'm pulling out my poli-sci degree. I'm so So sorry here, folks. But they hit so many different aspects of political science in that I was intrigued. I was entrenched in that game. And then the mindfuck came at the end where they started talking about the future and what to expect and everything. And the big finale at the end, that just was amazing for me. 3 was just like, well, it's a good romp. Okay, that's cool. 2 did things I didn't expect a video game could do. And so that's why I say they did the wrong one.
And that brings up another good point. When they remake 2, I would love for them to put back in the scene of Arsenal Gear crashing into Manhattan. I understand why they took it out, because it was like a month after 9/11.
Too sensitive.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been enough time
was that
passed
in
where
Japanese
like
only, and did they only remove that?
No. They it was removed from all cuts, obviously, because it was like right after, it was like on the eve of 9/11, like at the 11th hour before it went gold. They took it out. It's technically not a DVD. It's technically a game. It's a PS2 game. It's called The Document of Metal Gear Solid 2. And it's basically DVD extras with some VR missions and the Evolution skateboarding level of Snake on the big cell. There is a model viewer, and it actually shows a model of Arsenal Gear as it has crashed into Manhattan.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So like you can see the remnants of that. Obviously, they took the entire scene out. So like it's headed towards the bridge, fades to white, then fades back out, and then Solidus and Raiden are on top of the can't remember that building there, but then that's where you have the big sword fight.
Yeah,
it's a product of the era.
It's just that unique. 3 does have some political aspects. You can't have Metal Gear, the series, without political aspects. I would never suggest that 3 is void of them, because that's ridiculous to say. But 2,
oh my god, no, that's like what?
Yeah.
Okay, whoever says that is like I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, it's insane. But like there's so many, and I'm not going the levels of somebody else around here. This is still a gaming podcast, but we're talking about the aspects of the game here. It does not touch skin-deep garbage. It goes deep, deep, deep in. Like the very aspect of a terrorist cell organization, understanding how they operate. And then as soon as you're like, I think I'm understanding this, the game flips you on your head, because it's all just one wild trip. Every time you think you have something and you're understanding it, the game yanks the rug out from underneath you. And that's why I love MGS2 so much.
Everyone hates on 2 too hard.
They're so wrong.
I think it's just like the bait and switch of Raiden.
I mean, I don't think he's bad like everyone puts about to be, but whatever.
No. He was necessary.
It was different. It was different. And then they redeemed him in 4 because they made him all cyborg and a badass, and then they really redeemed him in Revengeance because Platinum
Revengeance, the best word in the world.
Because like at first, like she was like, I don't know how to make this good. Oh, let's give it to Platinum. They know what to do. It's just like basically it's like let's take Bayonetta out, replace it with Raiden. All right, we're good. I'm like, I love it. Let's go. I love me a Platinum game.
Yep.
Although there's one I can't play anymore because they made it online only and then they shut it down. That's Babylon's Fall.
There you go.
No.
There you go.
I don't like online only games.
Platinum usually does amazing. There's a few where they miss the mark, like that Transformers game. That was icky.
You didn't like Devastation?
I didn't play it or have exposure to it.
It makes me frown. Makes me frown.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Well, it's okay. Not all of them can be winners. Okay.
It hurts both of us because Johnny and we love Transformers so much. And it's Gen 1. It's G1 Transformers, which is the best.
You're hurting each other's feelings with your sentiments about that game in particular. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. I don't get it, but I hear you.
Because it's just it's character action and not like straight shooter like War and Fall of Cybertron.
War and Fall were really good.
I haven't played any of those.
It didn't feel platinum. It felt clunky, right? It's almost like they put together a B team and said, okay, B team, work on this. A team, the good guys, work on Bayonetta, and shut up. That's the way it kind of felt to me.
I might have to reinstall it and boot it up again just to maybe I'll do that. I'll boot that up, play that a little bit, flip over to Bayonetta 1, 2, or 3 on the Switch, and give that a go and be like, okay, am I crazy?
They came out around the same time. You can't compare a later title because those employees switch out and change and blah blah blah. They change their lead on how they want to make the game. So you have to do it with Bayonetta 1 and the Transformer game.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, all right, it wouldn't be fair otherwise.
Yeah. To wrap this up,
we're in the chat says it best. We
go ahead.
We love Transformers so much. We did a playthrough of it right before, and I found out you and I and Shiro, we played War for Cybertron at the right time because I think shortly after that they shut all the servers down, so can't do online co-op again.
That's still one of my favorite moments. If anybody, the clip is still up where it's just I'm driving, I'm dead. Amazing clip. Go ahead.
Or Patrick, the fact that I try to outrun a train.
Go ahead, Liz.
Patrick, before you wrap up, I want to do the ultimate gamer test and see if anyone would particularly call out the game that I will probably buy day one, and no one's mentioned it, nor have they gotten close to it.
I'm scared. Okay.
We're gonna get ASMR for a second.
Oh, okay. I think I can do it.
I'm very excited. Do you want to guess?
Okay, it's definitely not the cat game.
No.
I was going to say if it's the cat game, I'm going to see myself out because I just insulted it.
Okay, I don't want to say the cat game because there is a cat involved canonically in this universe. But I'm really excited. And I almost cried because I didn't think it would actually happen, but I'm very excited for the Talos Principle 2, and I'm internally crying on the inside, tears of joy, nobody knows.
Oh, really?
I feel like such a dork because I feel like no one cares.
I was going to say, because you said I've been waiting so long, I thought you were going to say Grand Blue.
Oh, I don't even care. I don't even know anything about that. I know nothing about Grand Blue.
Well, all I know is it's been on the shelf for ever, and they're finally releasing the thing.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just really, really obsessed with the Talos Principle, and okay, long story short, I don't want to keep us much longer. It's one of those games that I played years ago. I do want to replay it, not because of the sequel coming out, but I do want to get a different ending and see different circumstances in the game. But it's one of those games that it keeps coming back in my mind. There's no more than a dozen games that I've played in my adult life that I think about it on a very regular basis, and it really affected me as a piece of art and a phenomenal game. So I'm very excited that there's a sequel coming out. So that's the significance for me, to wrap it up really shortly. It's one of those games that I think about all the time, and I'm like, damn, everything about this was good. And it's a thinker, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited.
Oh, we're not done yet. There's one last thing we gotta throw out here. What is the game, the announcement, anything like that you thought you could do without in this?
I could do without? Well, I mean, the stuff that's coming out,
there's a million others.
I don't want to say 16. Hate because that's such a strong word, but what is the stuff where you're just no thanks?
I didn't think we need another Final Fantasy 16 trailer within this because it's coming out in 3 weeks. Street Fighter 6 coming out literally next week. It's technically not a game, but another Gran Turismo trailer for your movie.
Hold on, can I be a hater? We don't need another Assassin's Creed game. I don't even know where this is taking place. I'm are we back in Saudi Arabia? Where is this game taking place? I'm so over AAA bullshit. I don't think this is gonna be good. So,
dude, I paid so little attention to Assassin's Creed that I thought this was a remake of the first.
Me too.
Honestly, I thought of that too. I thought that was Altair. I was like,
no.
oh, they're re-releasing the first game, or
That's
like
what I
they're
thought.
remastering the first game to make it better.
You guys, let me just say, I'm an original hater because when I had a PS3 and I was in high school, I didn't have a lot of money. I got Assassin's Creed for maybe $10 in the greatest hit rack when there weren't too many greatest hits. It was a good deal, and I played and beat that whole game because I only had like 3 to 5 games at this time. So of course I'm forced to play like the one of the games that I have. And I was like, this game fucking sucks. Like, okay. I was like very beginner. Wow, this game sucks. I hope there's not more. And then to my demise, I was like, who likes this game? Oh no, everyone.
My wife likes it.
I unfortunately burnt
I
out
don't
in the
conceptually
series.
hate it. I don't, but
I burnt out during the Ezio trilogy, like right at the last bit with Revelations, and I made the mistake
You're
of trying to play
milking
them
it.
all. I went like 1, 2, Brotherhood, then I got to Revelations. I was like, I don't like this anymore.
I kind of wish I waited until there's maybe like 10 of them because I could pick a historical era that I am the most fascinated with and played one game, been satisfied, and been like, yeah, I could pass on the Roman Empire, or I could pass on colonial
one of those-
America. Whatever I don't want to play, I'm just.
I was
making
one
an
of those
example.
crazy ones that was like, I liked the modern day stuff, like the stuff that was happening like outside the Animus. Like I wanted to learn more about
Oh,
that.
yeah,
It's like,
see
no,
what's
no, keep
happening
going
in
back
the
there. It's
world.
like, but they want to see the thing. It's like, that's why
Tell
I
me more
got
of the
kind of
story.
excited. I kind of excited every time, like in the Assassin's Creed movie, and Michael Fassbender was doing assassin stuff in modern times. I was like, oh, this is cool. Can I have more of this? Nope.
Yeah, I
It
think
underperformed at the box office. It
What-
underperformed at the box office, but
Mhm.
I liked it. It was okay.
What hurt the series the most was just having a yearly release.
Mhm.
Honestly, I think that's what really hurt it. It's the same thing that's hurting Pokemon now. We don't need a brand new Assassin's Creed, Pokemon, anything every year. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. It's not a sports title. We don't need this. We don't even really need sports titles every year.
No.
Yet it happens. So sorry everyone. The one thing I thought when I saw it, I don't need this, and nor does anyone else, was Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2.
Oh,
No.
okay, hold on. I'm gonna be anti-hater for 1 minute. So I feel like Five Nights is very exhausting, but I think it's very exhausting because it's become a children's game. Like, I don't think it was really ever intended to be a children's game. And it makes me think of when you're out in public and it's like, wow, there's a lot of Minecraft shit everywhere. Oh man, I'm getting a little exhausted seeing the same thing over and over again. I think that happened with Five Nights.
Mhm.
However, I've gone back, like, I kind of like goofed on it because I'm like, oh, this is not a real horror game. And then I actually like sat down and watched somebody play it. I was like, oh my God, this seems so fun. I think I would enjoy this. Yeah, there's a lot of them, but I'm like a big horror person, and I don't even know if I want to consider Five Nights horror because of like I don't know. I guess it is and it isn't, but I don't know. I mean, like the last one, like not the one that was just announced, but like the last one, like seemed really good, and a lot of people were giving it praise. So I can understand. I think there's definitely like a Five Nights fatigue, but I don't want to like shit on it if I haven't actually played it and I consider myself like a horror aficionado and actually seen gameplay. I'm like, wow, I think I'd actually be stressed out and have fun playing this game. Like good stress. Like I want to be scared. So, I have to give it some credit in that sense.
So, Five Nights, yes and no to it trying to be a kids game. Like Scott Cawthon originally began because he was releasing some kids games, and everybody said that his characters looked like scary as hell the way he drew them. Like they were hardcore insulting his games, like vote bombing it, just basically trashing it. So he's like, okay, I'll take this art style and turn it into a horror series. And he didn't try to go like too hardcore with it because he thought he would attract children, which inevitably he did. But then like
With
ramped
jump
up the
scares.
story to continuous insanity. Didn't shake anybody, it just kept going. But I think like there is the Five Nights fatigue. Because
Oh no, for sure. Like I absolutely agree.
we've got toys, we've got games, we've got the movie that's coming this
Oh, really?
fuck, is it gonna be Halloween? It's in October.
Shut up. I'll have
Yeah.
to catch up.
It's happening this year. So, like, major Five Nights fatigue happening right now. But you know what? That's just me. It's going to be super
That's
successful.
not new news. I was fatigued by Five Nights like 5 years ago, but then I really like sat and thought about it when I actually really looked into it. I'm like, I think I'd actually enjoy this. So I was fatigued and tired of it 5 years ago. So I absolutely understand.
All right, well, I think we're going to wrap it up here. This has been one of our longer episodes, but I think everybody really enjoyed it, regardless.
Thank you,
I know
Paul.
We
You're still
enjoyed.
there. We love you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we enjoyed being here and talking for everybody. I think chat really enjoyed it. And if you're listening to it later on, we hope to hear from you so you can let us know what you liked or if you would like any sort of improvements. That said, we'll go around the table. Johnny, where can everybody find you?
Oh, well, Johnny L. Chase on all socials and on Twitch. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Not on the weekends though, because this weekend Molly and I are going to our first like cosplay oriented thing in quite a while. Then I have a like collectibles swap meet that's happening on the weekend as well, and I'm hoping to God to find, because I like showed off a couple weeks ago when we talked Mario movie, the other Mario Kart. I'm looking for that Mario Plumber truck. If anyone locally has it, I
Fingers crossed.
slap that credit card down. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the weekend, and looking forward to the week coming up as well, especially with Street Fighter 6 coming out. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait.
That is going to be the taste when that comes out. I cannot wait. Liz, what events do you have coming up?
So I just came back from Anime Central last weekend. I feel mostly recovered, but just to be honest, I was like taking a nap the moment I got home, and I was like, okay, I got an hour to get ready. So I'm awake for you guys. Let me tell you that. So I went to ASIN. It was amazing. And I did finish a cosplay. I will be posting some pictures on social media, but I need to kind of go through and do like small little edits, like small baby edits. I'll put some up, but I did finish a Persona 5 Sai Nijima cosplay in her shadow form, and it was pretty sick. I'm actually very proud of myself. It turned out way better than I thought, so I'm very, very happy. And I'm working on another cosplay, and I have at least a convention a month for close to a year straight. So I have a lot of stuff that I'm still continuing to work on. And also in good news, I have gotten more supplies and more things, and I think I can't give any promises, try to do some like kind of practice run streams this weekend. So I'm trying to like build. I know I keep saying like I'll stream eventually or I'll record this, but it's just it's a matter of getting supplies and like having the time. Like, you guys, I got a deadline to make a cosplay for an event. Like, I spent too much money to not wear a cosplay, and I already put the money in that. I gotta finish it in time. So I have a little bit of a relaxed moment where I can like work on more video stuff. So I gotta kind of like play around, and I think I have a tentative schedule of how I want to stream. So that's the exciting thing. You can find me Thick Lizzie, Lizzie with an IE, Thick with double C, and sometimes there's an underscore depending on the social media.
Awesome. So that's where you all can catch Liz eventually when she starts streaming.
I'm getting there, guys. I'm so...
She'll get there. And of course, over on our end, Co-op Campus is still doing our thing. Both my wife and I play co-op games together, and we have this Rascallion helping us out, Valley the Valedictorian. So we're going to keep having good times. Recently, we were playing It Takes Two. Man, we both really had fun with that. We've gotten Skyrim co-op working a little bit. We're going to have to keep working at that and see what's going on. And then we'll move over to ESO Online eventually. Or ESO Online, Elder Scrolls Online, or ESO. So we have that plan. Of course, just keep in mind, you can also get the audio version of this podcast later on. We've got all sorts of cool stuff going on at Reset Press. You'll find all that info on Twitter, and we are Reset Press. So check us out there. That wraps it up for this edition of the Reset Button, episode 3. We hope to see you guys back for episode 4 in 2 weeks. Everybody, have an amazing night. Goodbye.
Bye bye.